All right, guys, Kraft Hockeyville, the countdown is on. March 29th, March 30th. We have 32 hours to get as many votes as possible to bring $250,000 to the Cochrane Arena. Oh, and an NHL preseason game as well.
Just that little thing.
Exactly. This is huge for the community. And I gotta say, leading up to this, how has it felt seeing the community back this initiative?
It's been pretty surreal. Initially the focus was on going after the title, the grant funding, but we've since come to realize just how cool this is to see our community, bigger cities in our province really rally behind this common cause, which I think is so important right now.
And we still have a few days to go before voting actually happens. So what can people do here in Cochrane to kind of build that momentum leading up to voting day?
Yeah, so spread the word, friends, family. We've got lawn signs out, drop by the center if you'd like one of those. We've got car decals. And then put a reminder in your calendar for March 29th at 7 a.m. 32 hours. You only got to stay up for 32 hours, and you can vote unlimited. So hopefully we can rack up thousands, millions of votes and bring the title back here to Alberta.
Millions
Of votes.
Millions of votes. Yeah.
And I think that's possible because even myself, I have family in central Alberta. They've played hockey here before. We talk so much about Cochrane rallying behind this. This is really Alberta-wide. We have so many hockey players coming from surrounding areas. They want to kick butt rink too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Sylvan Lake was the last Alberta community to win Kraft Hockeyville, and that was 10 years ago. So it's time the cup comes back to Alberta. And it's kind of funny, Sylvan Lake had a massive trophy built for their campaign to try and win Kraft Hockeyville, and they have shared that with us. So we have now, you've probably seen some of the pictures, they've been on social media, but we really want to get the Cochrane name on that trophy and hoist that thing up.
Isn't it like 300 pounds?
Well,
Drop by the center. It's in our foyer.
yeah, so it's down at the rec center now. If you want to go and get a picture by it and share with your family and friends, you don't have to be in Cochrane to vote. That's your point. So obviously all of Alberta should be pulling for Cochrane, but even we probably have people all across Canada that are going to look at Cochrane's story and say, yeah, that community right there, that cool town, those guys need like that NHL game to be here, and the $10,000 that goes towards the equipment too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. $10,000 in equipment for kids in need.
Oh, really? And once we win, do you guys drink something out of the cup, or do we fill it with ice cream? Is that kind of the way we have to go here?
That seems like a Cochrane thing to do.
That sounds awesome. But for me, that's been the most gratifying thing of this. Obviously the money is meaningful, but it's way more than that. It's the rallying, it's seeing the community come together around a common positive goal of sharing positivity, voting. What's not to love about Cochrane and really putting our community on the map nationwide? When you look at the map on Kraft Hockeyville, it's like those other communities and Cochrane on there, and we're on the national stage, and it's we got to take an opportunity to really share what it is that Cochrane and who we are, right? What Cochrane is and who we are.
It is pretty cool. And can we talk a little bit about what the money will be used for? The Cochrane Arena is celebrating its 50th year, and it's a fantastic facility. It is always being used. It's, constantly, there's always people skating in there, but it's showing its age. It needs a little TLC.
Yeah, and that's exactly what, the visible stuff is where these funds would go. We're being proactive in terms of major maintenance. That's certainly not, what we're looking to use those funds for, but the experience areas, the service areas, the dressing rooms, the washrooms, the seating, stuff like that tends to get shelved maybe, while more important things, are funded. That's where we would put those funds towards.
And being 50 years old, it's hard to...
Careful.
Yeah, right? Well, it's so old, right? It's almost, you could throw a rock into Cochrane's growing population and find somebody who has a personal story. Maybe they don't even know how to skate, but they saw their niece on that ice there. And honestly, growing so fast, the rinks here are constantly full, and yeah, we need to make sure this one stays up to snuff, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and you nailed it. Like, people, I get lots of texts from people who are like, I grew up in Cochrane. Oh, I learned to skate there, I know Mayor Genung learned to skate at Cochrane Arena, and so
it's almost as old as I am.
Now, we've heard this. Did you come in high school? Like, did you not? Did you learn to skate at 18?
Yeah, well, thank you for that. No, I moved here in grade 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cochrane Arena's got a special place in my heart too. I mean, said this yesterday in an interview that the tri-school sites being right there and the arena being so close, like it's so proximal, and kids are walking back and forth for phys ed and broomball, skating, ringette, what have you. It's an important part of kids' activities, but also intramurals and all the activities that go with school.
Well, we actually talked to George Fox, so of course, country legend, music superstar who used to live in Cochrane, and he told us a few stories about how he used to play hockey there. So that was pretty cool hearing from him too.
Absolutely.
If you spent any length of time growing up in this community, you've had experiences in that arena.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's and I've been saying this too. I mean, I think our society is quick to knock things down and build a new thing. And yes, we are doing that as a community. We're building new roads and arenas hopefully down the road here, but we also need to do a good job of preserving what we have and honoring it. And I think this grant would really gives us the opportunity to shine a spotlight on a 50-year-old facility in our community that is still functioning, still active, still the heartbeat, I guess, of hockey and skating in Cochrane. And for us to be able to polish that up a little bit and honor it, I think that feels good.
And this is an interesting time for voting to begin. It's going to be Easter weekend, families coming into town, right? Like, you don't get your turkey, guys, until I see at least 30 votes.
No.
I think that's the rule around town.
No Easter Bunny until you voted.
Well, actually, we will have the Easter Bunny at SLS Center that weekend.
Oh, nice.
So there's that, and then we've got the massive Yelnats tournament going on as well, which is a huge benefit in terms of bringing our community together, especially with something as significant as Hockeyville going on. So I know we're expecting over 600 athletes for that tournament alone.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And which way are you going for voting? Are we setting up laptops? Like, should we go iPads, phones? Like, honestly, you got to have a strategy at this point. We got 32 hours, millions of votes needed. How should I set this up at my house?
I think one of each, Eric.
There you go. Boop, bop, boop, 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 boop. Kids, go away!
You do need to register to vote.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to go online, and I think there's a QR code or something on the website that you can follow to get to the link to register. But you need to register, and then you can get on there and vote as many times as you can.
Okay.
So sleep now. Make sure your devices are powered.
I was going to say, can we spend the night in the SLS Center? Like...
We'll make it happen, yeah. If you want to do that, we will make that happen.
Will there be anything set up, like for anybody who maybe doesn't have an electronic device to vote on? Will there be anything at SLS Center to vote
There
on?
will be,
Okay.
yeah. So all day Friday, all day Saturday during our opening hours, but what I'm hearing is Eric wants 32 hours
32.
straight.
Well, yeah.
So we're going to look
Sleepover.
into that. But we will have a voting hub set up for those that don't have access to technology. We're also going to try and get people to sign up just for time slots to sit there and actually vote. So it'll be interesting to see how the community comes together for this one.
Now, Jeff, for you, you've been the mayor for a while now. Would winning Kraft Hockeyville be like a major, you put this on your resume kind of thing?
Well, I can't take credit for it at all. Erin and the group down
Sure you can.
at the rec center really been pushing this, and then the committee and the volunteers that are all like, this is a community, just like a drive. It's everyone. It's going to take all of us to win this. But for me, yeah, it's like one of my goals as mayor has been to put Cochrane on the map. This is doing that, and why wouldn't we vote and encourage people to support our community? And then I was at a conference last week in Edmonton, and that's when Sylvan Lake was trying to give us their trophy, and the mayor of Sylvan Lake, Megan Hansen, was gracious enough to post a Facebook post about her and I sitting on a couch there, where she was like giving me the gears about winning Kraft Hockeyville. But all the other mayors that are associated with us across the mid-sized cities are all like, yeah, go Cochrane. So it's fun. It's just a good thing good news story. It feels good.
Now, Erin, on your part, I can just picture how this began, right? You guys were probably down at the SLS Center. Should we go for Kraft Hockeyville this year? Yeah, let's put something together. To now this point, hundreds of thousands of people rallying behind Cochrane. How has that felt to see the community truly grab hold of this?
It's so cool, and you're right. That's sort of how it started, right? Internally thinking about, should we put our name for it? Absolutely, we should. Cochrane Arena is 50 years old this year, and then, kudos to the community though. Like what Mayor said, you don't get this far without the community coming behind you. It is a community campaign. Yes, we are, helping to lead the charge there, but if the community and the province, for that matter, isn't behind us, we won't come out on top. But I believe we will show our spirit, and we will be there on the 30th.